Okay, so welcome back, Diego. Uh, Thank you again for bringing this wonderful movie to the festival. Now we have some time for a discussion or for your comments. Puteți să întrebați întrebările și în limba română. Încercăm să ne descurcăm cumva aici. I was just saying that in Romanian we will try to answer somehow. You know Italian very well, so you see we will manage somehow. But allow me the first question. You mentioned that Aurelian, he's a very close friend of yours. How long have you known each other? And actually my question is, what was the motivation for him to go to the movie with you?
I know Aurélien since 20 years, almost 20 years, so he's a very long and close friend. And I heard him a lot of a time. We've got, it's funny between us because he speaks and I listen to him. I speak a little, not too much, and I listen to him tell me all his story, all his problems, a lot of things, girl problem, professional problem, metaphysical problem. And one day I couldn't bring all his suffering, and I have to mute to become to leave from the friend I was to become a director, to record his words and to record all he has to say. And for me it was very important. One day he told me, he said to me, he was very, very sad, and he said to me, you know, Diego, I don't exist, but not in the media, or I don't exist. I, in me, don't exist. I don't have a subjective point of view. I don't have existence. I'm nowhere, or I'm out of the man's society. And I think that it was the moment for me to take a camera and to take a microphone, and because in the middle of all my friends, if there is someone who lives and who extra lives, it's Aurélien, because it's, I don't know, say in English, is he's great. He's great. He's very. He has an energy. He's funny, but he suffers a lot. But I wanted to make a testimony. To make a testimony of all his thoughts, and to act that he was in a. He told me I'm nowhere, but me, I knew that he was somewhere, but somewhere far from us, and I wanted to travel until this nowhere and keep it back to show that there's no two worlds between the normal people and the abnormal people. We all are part of the same world, and it's only, I don't know, cultural point of view or ideological point of view who divides some people.
So the floor is yours. Who's the first to ask a question or a comment? How you like the movie? The first one is always a difficult one. Then, okay, we have a question here. Just wait for the microphone so that we can hear it.
C'est quoi sa profession?
What is your profession?
No, Aurelien's.
Yeah, Aurélien tries to write literature, tries to sing, tries to be a comedian, tries to make movie, tries. A lot of things. He wrote. He has a diploma of philosophy, but he has a lot of baggage. But he can't. He destroys at the same time he creates. So for him, it's very difficult. That's why he's very alone. And I try almost each day, not each day, but almost, tries to be with him and to support him and to because I know and he knows too that he has a lot of things to communicate, and the problem that he wants to looks like normal people, and I advise him, I don't wait for you that you to be normal. Be with your strangeness. Be with your madness. Be with all you are, and give us news from the other side. And that's more. It's easier for me to say it than to him to make it.
Okay, so you have a question here and then at the back.
What
Okay,
does
so
he think about the film?
okay, I will repeat the question. Go ahead, please.
What does he think about the film, Aurélien? Did he see it?
Yes.
If Aurélien has seen the movie, and what does he think about it, is the question.
Yes, few times. At the beginning of the movie, he says, "I'm never in the present moment. When I take a decision, tomorrow it's another decision. So I've got a discontinuity of being." So when he saw the movie, he liked it. But after 1 hour, he was very angry. And after 2 hours, because we drink after the projection, finally he told me, "Oh no, it's great, you did a great movie. It's a bit difficult for me, but it's great. And I look at him and I said it to him, I think that tomorrow you will send me an email of 10 pages in. He said to me, no. And the morning, the day after, I had an email with a lot of things. And with the time, I think, and almost I'm sure, that he's very proud proud. It's not proud. He's very struck by the fact that he tries all his life to communicate and to express his thoughts. And when he heard people, audience, who says, I understand you, thank you, it's important for me to hear that, he doesn't believe it in 1 hour. How could you hear my words in one hour? So now he's with me to travel, and we present the movie together, and it's for us an adventure amazing, because it gives him a lot of energy to continue to believe, and finally it's a good news. But we don't know, perhaps in 1 year he wrote me an email, or he will shoot me. I don't know.
Okay, there's one more question at the back.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
How does he sustain himself financially?
Assistance.
How does he sustain himself financially? I mean, where does he get money for living?
Ah oui. It's a. He has, I don't know how to say it in English, the RSA, the minimal money from the government, but it's nothing, just for live. And he's lucky because he lives in his father's apartment, so he doesn't have to pay each month. But I give him money when I've got a prize. I give him money.
And does he live alone?
Yes. Yes, it's all his difficulty to meet. It's difficult to speak about that because it's intimacy, but he has. For him, it's like a crusade, like war, to meet someone. It's unbelievable, and he wrote about it. He speaks about all his feelings. When he has some books, when he writes, when after a love story he writes all he lives, and there are testimony very very strong. But unfortunately, for the moment, he lives alone. Yeah.
An additional question, does he live in a city or he lives in a village, because he said there's those noises and cars and everything?
Yes, no, he lives in Paris. He lives in Paris. But when you go to eat with him, I don't know, at a restaurant or near the street, the conversation is like this.
Okay, we have a question here. Just wait a second for the microphone so that they can hear you at the back.
Why did you choose to go, or how did you come to go to that festival to shoot?
How did you come to the festival, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, the goals.
Yes, it's the third big one, popular party in the world after Carnaval de Rio and.
I imagine that it's a lot to take for a person with.
Yes, but that was the goal, to get outside of our day per day in Paris, of our comfort, easy life. I didn't want to direct this movie in his room, because the travel I wanted to do is to record Aurélien, to make him to make a meeting with the audience, that the audience meet him, understand him, but feels him. It was very important that the words become feeling. So for me, it was really like an experimental land, this festival, where I can find all like a resonance of his problem, because it's one thing that some guy tells you, I'm outside of the world and I've got a problem with the people or social people. It's one thing, but I really wanted that the audience feel what he feels all the day. It's, of course, there is it's like an allegory.
Yeah, this is an exaggeration. It's a lot more than he lives every day.
Yes, but for me it was the only way to really cinematographically give the shock, give the sensibility, and it was important even for me to get danger. We were not in danger, or not our life, but it was important that the dispositif of the movie were three, with the sound and me and Aurélien, to be unstable, and to make an organic sensation. And then I knew that in this land of experimental land, I knew that all these people who wear the same
Dress?
Yes. At a moment, you see only a wall in front of you. And I knew that take Aurélien with his feelings and put it in this wall was a way very immediate to make understand people what all day long he lives. I repeat it like an allegory, but with all the reality we moved. We direct, so it's like an allegoric documentary, or documentary allegoric.
And you brought him in a circle of really crazy people.
Yeah, that's why someone told me, why didn't you put an interrogation point at the title? And for me, yes, it's a way to let people continue this. What madness? Is it an exclamation or a question? What madness? Where is the madness? And what was very strong for me is during all the tournage, the shooting is that I tried to put Aurélien in the middle, but not in the middle of the people, in the middle of life, of society, of joy, etc. And he didn't want. And the only way I put it in the middle, it's by cinema, with this sequence, with the screening in the arena. And it was our way to speak, because at the moment we heard my voice at the beginning, and then I disappeared, and it's only by editing and picture and sound that I'm here. So and editing. So our relation is at the moment.
Dis en français.
Non, mais j'ai un peu dit ça. C'est the only way to put it in this in the middle was by the tools of cinema.
In my opinion, the shootings are great. You did some great shootings.
You?
Can you choose the black shirt?
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
Like,
of course.
like both.
Yes, because there is one thing I didn't said. It's of course in this party there are this incredible tradition to make bulls run in the middle of the city, and it was in my childhood. I saw this image at the television, and it was really an incredible image. And one day Aurélien said to me, you know, my words are some animals in me, wild animals in me, who cross me every time. And I've got a lot of thoughts of Aurélien, a lot of sentences. He said to me, I feel killed by social every day, etc., etc. And the bridge between this party and the interiority of Aurélien was, at the moment, for me, very important to make. So, of course, these animals are, yes, crazy. I cut the sequence where you see the bulls killed, but of course, after this game, they are killed by corrida.
But you did you saw them, and I consider you filmed them, but you didn't put on screen when they are killed.
Yes, no, I didn't put it.
Anyway, the shootings are great.
Thank you.
There's one more question.
First of all, I would like to say that thank you for sharing this beautiful mind with us. It's quite interesting for me to see first time such a beautiful mind. I would like to know when did he found that he has autism, and also I would like to, I admire very much of this character the power of seeing himself in a mirror. So this is a very, very powerful thing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, very late, because he was 35 years old when this psychiatrist told him, you know, Aurélien, don't look, because he was since 10 years in psychoanalytic analysis, and he found the childhood traumatism. He found it, and he didn't put the image of traumatism. And that's the fight versus psychoanalysis and autism. In autism, there's no a traumatism in the childhood. It's a structural condition. And when this psychiatrist told him, he understands why his life didn't go like he wants. So for him, it was a very important moment, and he tries immediately to write after having reading about autism, he tries to write all his sensation, and he didn't manage to it, and that's why it's also a reason I did this movie, to help him to express, to speak about it. And since 5 years he lives with that, and now he tries to look for the exit, because that's the sense of the last plan. He has to find the exit. And yes, I agree with you. What struck me in Aurélien is the faculty to understand him. He suffered a lot, but he has this capacity to understand him like no doctor, no psychanalyst. And that's, for me and for other people, a treasure to observe that. And I know that the day I have the idea to make a documentary with him, on him, it was for me an evidence, and I wanted to record this, this capacity, because but also it's a capacity, but it also make him doubt, you know, the fact that he sees a lot of things. Some normal people, we have the faculty to refouler, to put things back, things you don't want to see. Oh, I'm in love with my mother. Oh, I want to kill my father. No, I don't want to see it, and I put it back. And perhaps one day it comes back, and you suffer, and it's nevrotic cries, etc., etc. And Aurélien doesn't have this faculty of put it back. He sees all his problem, but also his quality. So he lives like in a three-dimensional world. So that's why it's great to speak and to live our friendship très intensément. But it's also a little bit tiring, because when you've got someone who speaks a lot of all these particles,
So you say they basically made the diagnosis when he was 35 years old.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a bit about his relation with his family? I mean, with his parents? You say that he lives in a father's house. How did they
not
cope
in
with it?
father's house. His father gave him an apartment.
Okay.
But
how did the family cope with him? Like during his childhood, did they help? Did they understand, or was it difficult? I suppose it was difficult.
because it's not a question, not a difficult question, but it's difficult to me to answer, because it's very strange. I don't understand why, but I almost never speak about his childhood with him. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I know a lot of less of things about his childhood. I know, and he told me 1 month ago, he was very bad, and he told me that, like a sentence in the night, he told me that his parents didn't socialize him, because they work, and in 1 or 2 sentences, I can't say I understand everything, but I understand a part of his childhood. I saw him alone in the hotel, because his parents had an hotel restaurant, and he described me like a child alone in the, like a movie of like Shining, you know, in the corridor, alone without his parents, and it was for me a moment very, very intense, because I never heard him speak about it. So I can't say a lot of things, but I think that his parents let him alone, and now it's difficult for him to take the social boat.
more questions or comments, please at the back. If you are loud enough, we don't need microphone.
I try, yes. It's obvious that you have a very strong connection with him, and that allowed him to be very open and to accept to film for it. But have you ever expected during the 4 years of filming a moment when he asked you to stop everything, and that he is not anymore with this?
Yes, I understand your question, of course. He didn't tell me stop, but it was, I don't hide it, I'm very honest with it. I was the motor, I was the one who bring Aurélien to get outside of him. And of course, there have been a lot of moments who Aurélien said to me, this movie is impossible because no one could understand what I say. So it's impossible for you to give an idea about what I live in my head. And that's a little bit the sense of the first sequence. During 10 minutes, it wasn't a moment I choose, it happened like this. Suddenly he was in a furious state, and he gave me the starter, the point, when he told me there's no point of, there's no starter, point of entry of the movie, because the people have to know what I will say later to understand what I'm saying now. So for him, it was a quiz. For me, it was like a present, because a gift, present, because he said exactly what was the problem. He has the sensation that he will never be heard, and my intention was to make him heard by people. So of course there was never a fight, but yes, a tension, of course, yes.
Yeah, that's the first sequence was not very easy to watch, but lately we could understand what he was trying to say. And I have another short question. You said that he lives in a three-dimension in a way, and he's very conscious and tries to analyze him. Does this way of being helps you in a way? It helps you to analyze yourself, but not him, not only him.
It's a great question. It's for me, I'm sad because I don't speak well English, and I would like to answer very well at this question. But I can try quickly. I think that I have understand. Me too. I had atypical rapport with the language and with the symbolism. That, to be very simple, Aurélien is someone who lives without belief that when you say, I don't know, when you say table, the word table is the object, the table is linked by the word. All his life he lives with this no belief with in symbolism. So he tries to make a link between the words and the things, but his original problem, yes. And I realized that for me it was during a lot of years I had the same problem, and it creates a strange sensation because you think that you will be understood, and people look at you like an alien. So for me, I'm very proud, not of the quality of the movie. I don't want to speak about the quality, but I'm very proud to have managed to direct this movie and to prove that I was able to make a link between ideas, intention, dreams, and fact, a movie. Movie is a fact. Is a DCP or a high disk. It's nothing, but it's a lot of things. So it's this, and after he brought me in a lot of philosophical and metaphysical question. For me, it was very, very important. And I think that I'm not the same person since I have directed this movie, of course.
Okay, one more question here.
It's actually not a question. I wanted to make a note and to congratulate you on the movie, and also to say that it's really important that you're raising the awareness of the autism and of people that are living in the spectrum, because it's actually not enough to get treatment and therapy. If you're in the autism spectrum, you really need the support of the people around you, and you need the people around you and the society in general to understand this and to make your life really comfortable. And I think that most of the problems of the people that are living with autism is actually the way that the other people are reacting to them. So I'm actually congratulating you for raising the awareness.
Thank you very much. Yes, and that's why I didn't give a place for, I don't know, psychiater or the clinic. I didn't want to listen to the clinic. Michel Foucault was a French philosopher, said, we have to give the words to crazy people. Yes, of course, let them speak. We have to understand, we have to listen to them. We don't have to understand them. That's a second time, perhaps, but I didn't want to understand Aurélien. I just, in the first time, only listened to him, and then, of course, understand a little bit better what he told about. But it's, I think, very, very important to push the wall always and always. And the border, the question of the border, he told everything in the movie about the border.
So, please.
Have you ever had the impression that you impose yourself like a point of legitimation in front of Aurélien?
My legitimation?
Yeah, like you are a stance of legitimation, un point de légitimation. Genre, si Aurélien voit en vous comme une personne qui légitime, c'est...
Eh ben, no, the contrary. We are very friends. We love each other. But at the beginning of the movie, I cut this sequence. But at the moment, he looked at me, and he told me things that, he was afraid about what I would be able to make. And he always leave the shooting with this idea, oh my God, I give you to you my hurt, but it was a little bit a game, but I'm not, and I was not, I think I won't be a point of, perhaps the movie is now, and he told me very beautiful things about the movie, but the movie is not me.
Please, one more question here, and then you. Okay.
I was wondering, do you see a risk in the viewers kind of taking all the things he says like symptoms of autism? Like if I look at the movie and hear this complex mind saying things about what autism is or means.
There is a risk, yes and no, because in France, about autism, you hear a lot of place of children at school or social rights, and not what is in the mind of the autist. So I think that the words of Aurélien can give to psychanalytic and psychiatrists the food to think more. And but after, I can understand what you say in the fact that the movie is lies in a way, lies, mentir, ça? Lies in a way. It's because Aurélien, is in, like I said, unstable. And when I edit the movie, I try to stabilize the movie. I didn't want to give an autism form to the movie with the sound, words, and picture everywhere like this. I tried to make a story linear, and perhaps it lies because some people came to who saw the movie came and see Aurélien telling him, okay, but it's good. You have all you need to make your art, to make your life. So it's good. Come on. And it's because the movie lies. I had to stabilize something to make this link, this bridge between Aurélien and the audience. So it's risk. Cinema is risk. Making movie is risk. So.
Still have a question in the back?
Yeah, I see this movie as an exercise for him, and I appreciate that you gave him this chance to interrogate himself about his nature and his personality and thoughts and something. It's okay. And I think that it is a good material for him, the next years, to analyze this, to study, to see it several times, and because it's his nature to psychoanalyze himself.
He did it. He always did it.
I'm sure.
Someday he phoned me at 8 of the morning. What is it? I saw 2 times the movie in the night, so I've got idea about we can continue the work, and we okay. So, I phone you later.
Actually, this leads me to a question. Did you think about continuing in this work? Because this could be an interesting project if you film with Aurélien for a longer period.
Perhaps, yes. My first phantasm or dream, it was to make la suite, the continuation, I don't know, in 10 or 20 years. But like he's every day write me or phone me to continue, perhaps it will be more prochainement. I don't know, because it was an adventure. It gave me I spent a lot of time, so I'm not ready to go to the arena a second time, but perhaps later.
Are there any more comments or questions? Well, in such case,
thank you very much for your presence.
I just want to ask you, if you are not continuing with this, what are you working on? Because this was your first documentary, as far as I understand.
No, second documentary, but first feature.
And are you planning something as marvelous as this film?
Another documentary is already in shooting, and I've got a lot of project of narrative feature. But I believe more and more in documentary form. I think that the essential for me at my present is in the true words, true lives, true integration. I'm afraid that coming back to narrative, I'm afraid that I'm afraid about the difficulty to come back with the comedians but I have a lot of desires, but I will.
Well, I hope you will continue with documentaries.
Thank you.
And I hope that you will come back to Bucharest for the One World Romania next years with your new projects. Thank you very much. Thank you. You said that the movie changed you as well.
Yeah.
I think it changed many of us as well. So thank you for this experience, and thanks for coming. Good luck. Thank you.